Got some white noise.
Welcome to Dub Nation. Always love the music. Gets me pumped. This is your hub for everything Utah Warriors and Major League Rugby. Happy St. Patrick's Day, March 17, 2021. Banksy, it is the week of a game. We have a game this week. Let's go, baby. Regular season. Yeah.
It's been almost 2 years since we've had a home game. It's been almost exactly a year since we played any kind of live rugby competitively in the major leagues. I am so pumped for this thing to get underway for 2021.
Okay, I'm Jarom Jordan alongside Banksy. Great to have everybody. Give us a like, share the show, follow the Utah Warriors on social media. If you have a comment, fire away. We'll try and get some of those in. We're live on the Utah Warriors Facebook and Twitter accounts, on demand on KSLSports.com, the KSL Sports app, and the KSL TV app. There's a league announcement about some TV stuff and OTT, whatnot, which we're excited about. We'll mention. We also want to mention that there is an announcement later this week coming about a radio partner for the games. We're very excited about that. And the Warriors will be signing 3 more players, including a prodigal son who returns. That's coming up tomorrow. More later in the week on that. And tomorrow and via social media, follow the Warriors, of course, and warriorsrugby.com. So let's start things off on the right foot, the front foot, if you will, with a trivia question for some swag. We'll tell you who the winner is later in the show.
All right, so here we go. In year 1 of Major League Rugby, the Utah Warriors and Austin Elite at the time tied with 3 wins, 0 draws, and 5 losses. The Warriors went to the playoffs on more points. How many more points did the Warriors have than Austin? So this goes on bonus points and the bonus try scored for 4 more tries in a game. It made a big difference for the Utah Warriors in season 1. How many more points did the Warriors have than Austin to put them into the Major League playoffs in year 1 of Major League Rugby? Everybody that comments with the correct answer will be in the running to win our prize today on the show.
Okay, we'll answer that later on. Here's what's on the show rundown. We'll preview the season opening matchup with the Austin Gilgronis. We'll also deep dive on what a Gilgroni is. Actually, we won't. Rugby 101 explains lineouts. We'll talk with fellow broadcaster of ours. We love her. She's amazing. Capped Eagle for the 7th and 15th. She's a Harriman native, Ashlee Byrge, plus some news and notes from around the team and around Major League Rugby. So let us begin with none other than, hey, you got to be there on March 27th.
We got a chance to watch live rugby and finally have a home game as the Utah Warriors open it up at Zions Bank Stadium against the Toronto Arrows. March 27th. It's a 7 p.m. kick, and we have permission to have capacity at Zions Bank Stadium. Side-by-side seating is now available, so Warrior Nation, let's go. Let's fill this up and get loud for our Utah Warriors. Lots of different ways to get our tickets and be there in person as we finally get a home game for the Utah Warriors. And if you can't be there, make sure you watch on Fox Sports 2 as the Utah Warriors host the Toronto Arrows March 27th at Zions Bank Stadium.
Okay, that's next week. This week, Utah at Austin. Let's preview this. It's Saturday. It's 6 o'clock Mountain Time on KSLSports.com and the KSL TV app. Again, radio details to be announced. That will be there as well. But let's talk about it. So this is an Austin team that wasn't very good, a year or two ago. But guess what? They're way better now, Banksy. Like, this is going to be a tough opening game. Not to mention in the heat of Texas.
A lot of that turmoil from the team came with a change in ownership, a change in playing venue. And as you look forward to what we're facing with this Austin team, formerly the Elite, now the Gilgronis, this is a team that has skill, power, and experience all over the pitch with, I think, no less than 5 or 6 different capped Eagles. You're talking about a Tongan international. They've got a former All Black on the team, as well as a Chilean international playing number 9 for them. I expect a very physical match in Austin.
Yeah, let's talk about some of those guys. So Mason Pedersen, of course, Will McGee used to be with the Raptors forever. Bryce Campbell, same deal. Patty Ryan. Kurt Marath, of course, we know really well from his time with the Utah Warriors. He was great. A Tongan international, you mentioned. 3 World Cups. And, other internationals as well, as you mentioned. Is it Frank Halai? How do you say his name?
Frank Halai, Frank the Tank, they call him. This is a guy that's played all over the world. He's a former All Black, played through the New Zealand Sevens program, played for London Wasps, was an Auckland Blue. And now he's spent the last 2 seasons, didn't get a lot of time last year, came off the bench primarily for the Gilgronis, but scored tries when he did. And when you've got that kind of size and experience on the outside, you've got a difference maker. I mean, the man's 6'5" and can run with pace. So he's going to be a force to be reckoned with on the outside if he does indeed make the squad and we see some minutes from Frank Halai.
Marcelo Torrealba, Chilean international, you mentioned as well. This was a 20-20 tie last year at Austin, which you can do that in rugby. You both get 2 points. That works, I guess. Austin was 1-1-3 with 7 points when the season ended. The Warriors, by the way, had 12 points. We're in second place in Western Conference when the season ended. And here we resume it. So we look at what the Warriors can do. And Banksy, I think in the exhibition with Rugby ATL, we saw that the forward pack, primarily the front row, especially the props and Paulie Mullen, that's where the strength in this team is going to be. I am excited about what the backs can do. But it starts up front, and I think that Utah hopefully has an advantage in that area.
That's where it's got to come from. It's what this team has been built on over the last 2.5 seasons, where they took something that wasn't maybe the brightest spot for the Utah Warriors and have absolutely made it our strength, whether it's the scrums, whether it's the lineouts, or whether it's these guys playing with the ball in hand and interacting between the forwards and the backs. It's got to start with those first 8 guys in that forward pack, establishing that physicality from the first whistle. There can't be any hesitation. They've got to be able to establish that physical dominance at the breakdown. We saw them do it in the scrimmage against Rugby ATL, and that physicality that just was led from the front by Bailey Wilson, Tuveri Bungakoto, Lance Williams playing out of his mind and running all over the field making tackles. This is a forward pack we know can move with the ball and can score tries. I think we're deep at all the different positions, and this is a great chance for the Utah Warriors to show all of Major League Rugby that they're picking up where they left off from last year when we had our 2020 season cut short.
And let's talk about what announcement happened this week. Bailey Wilson named the captain. Now, he is perhaps the youngest captain in the league. I would be surprised if there's someone that's younger than Bailey. Yet, he's very experienced, of course. He's had experience with, as a U20 player. And the Australian is a young, experienced leader, but Mikey Teo, that vice captain, to sort of be along with him, one of the most dynamic players in the league last couple of years for a couple of teams. So what did you think of Bailey Wilson named as the captain?
I think, I don't think it matters what I think of it. I think it matters what the locker room thinks. And that's how you get that captain's armband. And Bailey's a guy that leads from the front. He doesn't say a lot. And when he does, he usually says the right thing. So the guys always listen. He's a guy out there on the field that's leading by example. He's a pretty calm and level-headed guy, but he's not afraid to get in and do the dirty work and put in the hard yards. And then when you add to that as vice captain with Mikey Teo, and we know the accolades that come with being Mikey Teo and his ability to score tries, his leadership on the field, being able to play in World Cups, and really be that vocal counterpart to what Bailey does in the forward pack. I think we've got a great pair of guys with the captain's armbands on there to lead this team from the locker room to the field.
And I do love that Bailey Wilson perhaps has the deepest voice of any captain as well. It just really commands everyone right here with that Australian accent. It's going to be awesome. So we look forward to these captains leading the way this season.
Side-by-side seating is now available, by the way, for that home opener. Come out, Warrior Nation. Let's go. Saturday, March 27th, Zions Bank Stadium. Those on the can't wait list will be or have already been contacted to get your seats. We have side-by-side in-person expanded capacity. This isn't the first 500 people to show up. We can pack Zions Bank Stadium full of Dub Nation and cheer on our Warriors as they take on Toronto in our home opener. Be there Saturday, March 27th. Go to warriorsrugby.com and get all your details, or you can call 801-477-7652. That's 801-477-7652. Hit warriorsrugby.com and get your tickets for the home opener Saturday, March 27th.
And you can get group tickets as well. Let's go. Call that same number. Get going. Get your group in there. Let's go.
Bring the people from the office. If you've got a high school team you want to come out and experience some top-tier rugby, this is a chance to do it with those group tickets.
Against the Canadian B-side, as we like to call the Toronto Airs.
Okay, all right. It really is. Maple Leafs light.
Exactly. They may even play the Canadian national anthem before the game. Who knows? Okay, all right. If you're new to the game, let's discuss some Rugby 101. The line-out. The ball goes into touch or out of bounds. A line-out occurs. Banksy, walk us through the nuances of what happens next.
The beautiful thing about the game of rugby is at every opportunity, there is competition for the game. And the line-out is another example of that. When the ball's kicked into touch, depending on the situation, one team or the other will have the throw-in. That throw is usually taken by the hooker who wears the number 2 on the back of his jersey. You'll see him line up where the ball went out of bounds. And then the opposing team can match the numbers of the players, the team throwing the ball into the line-out, and they have to throw it directly down the center of that channel established between the two teams. And there is then that competition for the ball. This is where we see the props. We usually take a lock or a flanker and lift them up in the air, and you see them really reach up at 12, 13 feet into the air when you realize somebody like Matt Jensen, who's 6'5", 6'6", or an Austin Fortine, who is every bit of 6'6", probably when you stand next to him, and the guys lifting them are 6'3", 6'4", and 6'5". They're 13 feet in the air competing with another lock to take possession of that ball. And then when they do, they can either take it in hand, play it off the top. They can take it to the ground and play it back. We can see, as our Warriors do so often, they establish a great rolling maul off of that, and then you can get back to playing rugby. But it's all about that opportunity for the competition for the ball, and it happens at every kick. It happens at every scrum. It happens at every line out, and it's that chance for you to be able to gain or lose possession. And the Warriors have been pretty good at the line out in our history. We've had Matt Jensen, who's been an absolute stalwart there with, I think, over 85% of his total lineouts ever taken. He's stolen the ball at the top, and we just get deeper behind him as we look at, again, Austin Fortine. You got guys like Yuri Van Buren that can get up in the air. We saw Bailey Wilson up in the air quite a bit in that scrimmage game from the lineouts. So the Warriors, good at the set piece, and particularly the lineout, I think, is going to be a strength for us in 2021.
That was Rugby 101, and well stated. We'll try and, not offend the sensibilities of the people who know what's going on, yet teach you the game if you're kind of new to it. So, yeah. And you know what? Season tickets are available, by the way, on warriorsrugby.com. Expanded seating, as we mentioned. Go there, get your tickets. It's going to be awesome. Okay, our next guest is a new member of the broadcast team. If you watched the exhibition, she was fantastic on her first game as an analyst. She made her debut in that. She'll be doing that. Some sideline reporting. Will join us on the show as well during the season. She's a Harriman native, a capped Eagle for the 7s and 15s. If Banksy brings the forward pack strength, she brings the speed. Ashlee Byrge is now on Dub Nation with us. And Ashlee, it's great to have you on the show because, listen, we needed some class, we needed some speed, and you really bring that to the show.
Well, thank you. I don't know if I'd say speed is my strong suit, but I can bring something different than you guys. But
hey, you're faster than me, Ashlee, and that counts for something.
I am excited to be here.
And actually, earlier this week, some expansion of the Pathway program was announced. You are going to be the academy assistant coach.
Yes.
With my old roommate Derek Smith. So I'm sorry about that. But this is exciting. You're not only an analyst, but you are a coach in the game and a part of the staff of coaches.
Yeah, I'm super excited about this. This is something that growing up playing rugby here, no one really knew what rugby was. And I was lucky I had some great mentors like Larry Wilson, who's a legend of the game here, who helped me find opportunities to play in college, get scouted, get on the national team. But something like this, where we're going to be inviting college coaches to come to these games to see these young athletes, like it's just going to create such an incredible opportunity to get so many more young, talented rugby players playing at the highest level.
Now, talk about your experience coming through the 7s and 15s programs. I feel like through the last several years, look at that. Who's that baby face?
There I am. Oh, man.
Talk about playing up through those levels, because the women's game has excelled internationally faster than the men's game has. So playing at that elite level, what do you see Major League Rugby and USA Rugby need to do to continue to grow that footprint that we have both nationally here now with our own league and internationally?
You know, it's just getting more people involved. We have such talented athletes, and we need to get them playing rugby as young as we can, and that's happening here. And, you know, when I was on the national team, we were talking about how majority of us girls didn't start playing till high school and college. And imagine what type of athletes we would be if we would have started playing rugby, you know, in middle school. And that's happening now. And so, you know, I think rugby brings so much to the game. It taught me so much about myself. And, you know, I got to travel the world, and I met so many great people. And, you know, I'm just excited for other people to start experiencing that even at a younger age.
And you actually started the first, you know, women's high school club in the country in high school. Tell us more about that.
Well, in Utah.
Sorry, in Utah,
yeah. But yeah, I grew up watching my brother play. I always played soccer, but I knew I just had like a little bit more grit inside of me. I needed to, you know, do something a little bit crazier. So, you know, I knew the high school boys coach at Harriman, and basically went around school. We found a group of girls that wanted to play, and we brought them a list of names and said, let's make this happen. Let's find a coach. And, you know, we started that program, and that was, you know, the start of youth girls rugby here in Utah, which has completely exploded. So I'm so incredibly grateful that I got to be a part of that, and that I'm still continuing to, you know, grow the game here.
So talk about your experience. Obviously, your natural position is more of like that scrum half, and now you've paired with Sean Davies on that coaching staff through the selects and the academy sides. It's got to feel good to have that leadership. And I've said this before, it's not just what you are that brings you to the Utah Warriors, but it's the quality of rugby that you've played. Talk about adding that now and being named as the staff, and how much that means to somebody from a homegrown standpoint. I mean, you're one of ours. You're a Utah kid.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. Just going out and meeting. I'm watching some of these high school rugby games. Derek and I went last weekend to go scout, and, you know, getting to meet these athletes and talk to these kids, and they know who you are. And that's really cool. And to be able to say that I'm going to work alongside Derek and Sean Davies, who are just incredible athletes, and then even looking, you know, deeper into our staff with somebody like Brandon Sparks, who is a huge role model to me and been on the USA Rugby side for a long time. Like, there is just a lot of great talent, mentorship, leaders, and, you know, rugby players in this program all around.
So it's coaching, and then you're with us in the booth and on the pitch, which is going to be fun. Really nice job, by the way. And I don't know how much commentary you had done, but you did a great job in the exhibition.
Before. I was quite scared. I think I muted my mic probably 40 times just to like take a breath. But you know,
there was a lot of this.
It's rugby, and that's what I realized. You know what? I know rugby. I knew that going into commentating for the game. I was nervous because it's something I never did before, but, you know, I think all of my years of experience and the things, you know, that I've gone through and the teams I've played for did prepare me for that moment, and I actually felt pretty comfortable. So
I could tell in the second half, you know, it was super fun to call the game with you. I'm glad I got to be there for your first broadcast and to kind of to go through it all. But you know, your knowledge really shines, and your rugby IQ, you can tell you're a player of that caliber from any gendered game. And I think the Warriors and our broadcast team are super lucky to have somebody like you. Just come home.
Well, thank you. I'm happy to be home.
And I'm excited too because sometimes I can't make every match due to other scheduling conflicts. So the fact that Banksy, you can call play-by-play is incredible and be the analyst, and actually that you can rotate whether we need you on the sideline as a kind of an on-field analyst I think we have a good thing here. I think we really do.
Good team.
It's gonna be a fun season. So let's talk about. Oh, go ahead, Banksy.
I'm just really excited because I don't think anybody else in Major League Rugby has put a woman in the broadcast booth. And not only do we have a female in the broadcast booth, but we have a female with your IQ and your rugby pedigree. We have women that are on broadcast teams, but to put somebody in that booth, I think just speaks to your credentials, and it speaks to the quality of what this organization represents and who we are and what we're building here, and that tradition, that family, that respect, and those things, those pillars of our community that the Utah Warriors has established. I'm super excited to have you as part of our team.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, let's break down the game Saturday. So we have the season. Let's go. Utah at Austin. You've seen Utah in action. Austin has improved their roster quite a bit. What do you think of the season opener, Ashlee?
Well, it's a 16-game season, so with any league like this, they have 8 home games, 8 away games. So to me, this championship is going to be won on the road. So I think it's really important for our guys to start off strong and get this season kicked off on the right foot. Like you guys had mentioned earlier, Austin has a lot of international talent, and we're both very physical teams. So I think we're going to be going head-to-head, and set pieces to me are what are going to win this game and separate which team from which team.
Talk about the experience on the field that we're going to need to see. We saw some really good things in the game that you and I did together from Michael Baska. He's going to have to go to another level now and really step up his game again from that number 9 position, a position you have a ton of experience in.
Yeah, I was very impressed. I had never seen him play before. There's a lot of players that really impressed me. I think we're also going to need to see Paulie Mullins step up again. He really controlled the game last time, and I'm very excited to see what Bailey Wilson can do and how he'll lead the team on the first game on the road. And he had an outstanding game, and I'm just excited to see, those standouts, but also just the team start to come together as a whole and really connect and start, playing into their shape.
And last week, when we had Sean Pittman on, I asked him, hey, how much of that lineup was the lineup you want to roll out in the regular season in the opener at Austin? He said, we probably have 4 or 5 out. So I'm interested to see, Danny Giannoskli, a young guy, got to start in the exhibition, but I'm wondering if you put Hagen Schulte in there, if he's healthy, at fly half, and who exactly goes out in every different position. And obviously the lineup still being finalized, but I'm excited to see the first 15 when it comes out this week. Ashlee, do you feel like there are a few guys that are like a lock no matter what, like Bailey Wilson, of course, and Mikey Teo and Paul Mullen, and then kind of we'll see from there?
Yeah, I'm not super familiar with everybody, so I'm excited. This will give me another chance to see if the people that really stood out to me last week stand out to me again, and I'll start making some of those connections. I'm pretty new to the MLR, so I'm just excited to see. Last game was the first time most teams have played rugby in about a year. So I think in general, there's going to be less errors. The jitters are out, so I think we'll start to see more of, which players are really stepping into big roles.
Well, we're super excited about the season opener, and then after that we have a home game against Toronto on FS2. So there'll be a radio call of that. But again, details coming out this week about the radio situation. We're excited about it, but we're gonna have a fun season, and we'll be catching up with you quite frequently, and of course on the broadcast. So Ashlee, we appreciate the time.
Thank you, guys. I'm super happy to be here. Go Warriors!
Go Warriors is right. That's Ashlee Byrge, who was Eagle with the 7s and 15s, a native of Harriman. She's like the perfect fit, Banksy, she's exactly what we need and want with the Utah Warriors. Homegrown, Eagle on both sides of the game, scrum half, speed.
She's awesome, talk about everything that the Utah Warriors represent, from tradition to the locality that we've been able to build on here with our select side and our pathways program. She absolutely fits right into that as a great wealth of knowledge, having played at all the different levels she had. We didn't even mention U.S. Army Elite Athlete Program and any of that. The girl everywhere she's gone has just excelled, and to bring that knowledge in to what we have here at the Utah Warriors and be that homegrown talent, it's a welcome home, and it makes you feel good to have someone like that return to give back to the game here in our community and to Major League Rugby. Thankfully, it's with our franchise.
And we needed more ink. We really did. So she brings that as well.
So that's awesome.
I don't bring any. I'm sorry. I'm not contributing in that way.
Look, she's such a great competitor, and she knows so much about the game, and she has this ability when we're doing a game to be able to put herself in the position of those players and really go through what their thought process is in a moment when they're making a tackle as a play develops, and she really has that vision for what's happening on the field, and she's going to be able to teach it to so many of these rugby players that are just dying for that knowledge. And I think she nailed it. As more of these elite athletes come through the Utah Warriors program and into Major League Rugby in general, when we have guys like Derek, we have guys like Baha, we have these local players that have those roots in Utah that are also capped Eagles. We have Ali Khalifi. You talk about Sean Davies, of course, your old roommate playing through BYU. I'm going to name
and Derek Smith, bro. Both.
And Derek Smith. You're talking about another capped Eagle. You talk about Mikey Teo, Paulie Mullins, Baska, Aston Fortine. The level of education and information just in these guys' heads is so next level for these Utah Warriors pathway players to be able to learn from and grow through. I'm super excited to see what continues to develop.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome, which brings us to some of the news and notes, and you mentioned it. Bailey Wilson is the captain. Mike Teo is the vice captain. We mentioned that. Expansion of the pathway program, you mentioned. Head coach of the Selects, Olivier Khalifi, who's a member of the team as well. Ba Esikia is an assistant. Academy director Sean Davies, head coach Derek Smith, assistant coach Ashlee Byrge, we mentioned. And then community coaches. This is important. This is part of what the Warriors do. They're not just playing rugby. Mikey Teo, Aston Fortine, Paul Mullen, and Michael Baska. These guys are some of the leaders. And listen, if you want to get involved with the Warriors in some way, as a player or a fan or whatever, you're going to run into these people.
These guys are going to be the face of the Utah Warriors in our communities. You're going to see them at club games. You're going to see them at high school games. They will be on the sidelines and in the stands, and they're so approachable. And it's one of the special things about our sport is, no name is too big and no personality is too great. Rugby is so accessible from a personality standpoint to everybody that it's just such a blessing to have a staff that deep represent the Pathways program. And again, international players from front to back on every level there in that staff. And it's such a cool thing to see these guys really step up for our community and take that belief in what the Pathways program has to offer. So kids playing from junior high and playing through the grade levels now, all the way up through full pro contracts. And we've seen several guys, I think we've got 5-6 different guys on roster now that are Pathways players that have played up through this program. And it just gets stronger with this staff and these advisors, coaches, and ambassadors for our game.
Absolutely. Check those people out. Happy to have Ashlee aboard on that as well.
So get your 2021 kit through warriorsrugby.com or at the merchandise stores at our home games. You want to wear the kit that we wear, baby? You want to wear the kit that your boys wear on the sideline? We have the best looking kit in Major League Rugby. Go to warriorsrugby.com or make sure you stop by the merch tent as you come into the stadium on March 27th so that you've got the freshest kit out there, Dub Nation, as we open the season at home against the Toronto Arrows. It's game 2 of the year for us. It'll be our first home game in almost 2 years, Warriors Nation. So let's make sure we look the part with the fresh kit and get your butts in the stands.
Butts in the stands is the theme of the show, I think, now.
What it's all about.
Okay, let's answer our trivia question. Someone's going to win 4 tickets to the home opener.
So in year 1 of Major League Rugby, the Utah Warriors and Austin Elite at the time, now the Gilgronis, tied with 3 wins, 0 draws, and 5 losses. The Warriors went to the playoffs on points differential. How many points more did the Warriors have than Austin? And the answer is 4 points. 4 points was the difference maker there, and those were bonus point tries that the Warriors scored for scoring more than 4 tries in a game. Congratulations to Michael there. 4 points differential in season 1. It let the Warriors go through to the playoffs, and it left Austin sitting at home nursing their wounds.
Congratulations to Michael. 4 tickets to the season opener. The Warriors will reach out to you, and we'll get you those tickets. So for that, you get 4 points for winning a match, as you mentioned, 2 for a tie. You don't get any if you lose. You're a loser. You got none. But if you lose by 7 or fewer, you get a point. And then if you score 4 more tries or more, you get a point. So you can get a max of 6 points, which would be good. So hoping on Saturday the Warriors can come away with a win and then as many bonus points as possible. But go on the road and win. And great point by Ashlee, where this league is going to be won. And reminder, top 2 teams from the East and West make the playoffs on the road. Starting on the right note, on the front foot on the road would be great this Saturday.
It would be great to come home and be able to get a chance at really starting some momentum with this. And I think these Warriors can do it. We've seen the physicality and the dominance that this Warriors forward pack can put together. I'm hoping they bring that attitude with them to Austin. And we have yet to see really just how incredible this back line and whatever combination that Coach Pittman and Coach Davies can put together for game day. If they can get the right pieces in place, this is a team that can score in buckets full. And I'm keen to see who ends up in that number 10 slot, what our center's pairing is, and who that back 3 is going to be on starting game day for the Utah Warriors when that first 15 is announced.
Yeah, it might be Thursday, maybe Friday, but no later than Friday. So it's exciting. That'll do it. The next time we chat here in a week, we'll know what happened in the season opener. And again, stick to warriorsrugby.com and social media platforms for those 3 signings we mentioned. Also, the radio details of where we're going to be doing games, which is going to be very exciting. So that'll do it for us. Like and share this episode of Dub Nation on Facebook and Twitter. Reminder to follow the Utah Warriors on social media and throughout the season on KSL Sports. For Ashlee Byrge, Billy the producer, and Banksy, I'm Jarom Jordan. Go Warriors! We have a game Saturday, baby!
Let's go, Dub Nation!